Do stand behind the decision that ABC made.
Sara Gilbert speaks out in her first TV appearance.
There are a lot of people who watched the popular sitcom Roseanne, and the name Sara Gilbert immediately brings up a lot of memories for them. From the time she was known as Darlene Conner-Healy, Sara has navigated a life that has been filled with a series of personal challenges that have undoubtedly had an impact on her behavior. She has had a difficult time dealing with issues pertaining to her identity, relationships, and fame. Presented here is her narrative, which is replete with the multifaceted reality of glamour, vulnerability, and strength. Sara Gilbert, whose birth name was originally Sarah Rebecca Abeles, was born on January 29, 1975, in the city of Sunshine, Santa Monica, California. Jewish heritage is shared by both of her parents, Barbara Cowan and Harold Abels. Harry Crane, the legendary creator of The Honeymooners, and Julia Crane, a dancer who was once named Miss Brooklyn, were her maternal grandfathers. Her maternal grandmother was named Julia Crane. The year 1984 marked the year that she took on the surname Gilbert, which was that of her mother's first husband, Paul Gilbert. Sara's family has close ties to the entertainment industry. Her older half-siblings are a sister named Patrice and a brother named Joseph. She is the fifth child in her family. In addition, there are two older adopted siblings named Melissa and Jonathan Gilbert, who were both prominent figures on the television show Little House on the Prairie. Jonathan and Melissa were adopted by her mother, Barbara, who had previously been married to her father, Paul. This adoption took place while Barbara was married to the actor. Because of a hemorrhage in the brain, Paul had passed away in the year 1975. Her parents, Harold and Barbara, divorced not too long after Paul passed away. Her parents were her parents. As part of her efforts to pursue a career in acting, Sara decided to change her surname from Abeles to Gilbert in the year 1984. Barbara Crane, her mother, was a prolific producer and talent manager in Hollywood, so she was well versed in the industry. Sara was a child who possessed both talent and energy, and due to the fact that she was a competitive person, she desired to carry out an activity similar to that of her older half-siblings. A fire was ignited within her, and she began to dream of becoming an actress as a result of the cool things that her siblings received while working on the set of Little House on the Prairie. She made her debut in television movies and even appeared in an advertisement for Kool-Aid when she was only 13 years old. Roseanne cast her in the role of Darlene Conner, the intelligent middle child, and she was cast in the role. Through the course of the show, Darlene went from being a child to a teenager who was not only artistic but also extremely interested in politics. Sara appeared on the show for the entirety of its 9-year run, which lasted from 1988 until 1997. Don't Make Me Over was the title of an episode that she wrote for the 4th season of the show because she was so important to the entire system that she even wrote the storyline for it. The producers made significant adjustments in order to accommodate Roseanne's schedule and storylines because her input was so important to the show. Although the rest of the cast was in Hollywood, she was able to continue her studies at Yale and continue working on the show. She was able to film Darlene's scenes in New York. In addition to receiving 3 Young Artist Awards between the years 1991 and 1993, she was also nominated for 2 Emmy Awards in the category of Best Supporting Actress in the years 1993 and 1994. Her portrayal of her character's teenage life was praised by critics for being both spot-on and hilarious. That was not the only thing that Sara did. She was also able to find success in the film industry, working alongside Drew Barrymore in 2 different films. Poison Ivy, which was released in 1992, was the first time that they appeared together. In 2001, they came back together for the film Riding in Cars with Boys. In 1999, she also appeared in the film Light It Up. Her father was not doing well financially, despite the fact that things had been going well for her. Before he fell into a difficult financial situation, he had been a successful lawyer. This was due to the fact that he divorced her mother in 1983. In the beginning, when he approached Sara for financial assistance, she extended her assistance to him. However, the requests continued, which caused their relationship to become strained. When I was 18 or 19 years old, she recalled, I was making more money than any other teenager should have been making at that time. Nothing more than for him to be my father. Later on, she came to the realization that it must have been quite challenging for her father to ask for money, but she ultimately made the decision to stop giving it to him. It is preferable to give when it comes to making your family happy. Sara became Harold's primary carer after he fell ill in his later years, and she remained in that role until the time of his passing. She made an effort to make amends for the time that she had turned down his request for financial assistance when he was in need of it. After her time on Roseanne, Sara continued to make her mark in the entertainment industry industry by appearing in a variety of small roles in projects such as the short film $30, which was also known as $30 as part of the Boy's Life feature film, and High Fidelity. In 1998, she even gave directing a shot by making a short film titled Persona Non Grata. She found success in this endeavor. She appeared on stage in a production of The Hot L Baltimore in the year 2000, which was conducted as a part of the Williamstown Theater Festival in the state of Massachusetts. Many television shows, including The Simpsons, Will and Grace, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, and Private Practice, have featured Sara in guest roles. Beginning in 2004, Sara returned to the world of television after she finished her studies. She appeared on the long-running hospital drama ER as the intelligent and sarcastic medical student Jane Figler, a role that she played on multiple occasions. Throughout seasons 11 and 13, she made appearances. Twins, a sitcom that aired on the WB network in 2005, featured her as a guest star. However, the show was only canceled after one season due to a merger between two networks, so the gig was only for a short period of time. Additionally, she appeared on some episodes of the CBS sitcom The Class, playing the role of Fern Velch. In the television series The Big Bang Theory, she appeared as Leslie Winkle, a shrewd companion to the character of Leonard Hofstadter, played by Johnny Galecki, at various points between the years 2007 and 2010. The fact that she would be working with Galecki was not the first time she would do so. On her first television show, Roseanne, he played the role of her character's romantic interest. It just so happened that they found themselves in the position of being one of the possible love interests on The Big Bang Theory. Due to the fact that Sara is so committed to her work, the role that she plays on The Big Bang Theory was expanded during the second season of the show. According to Galecki's character and Howard Wolowitz's character, her character was now the primary love interest for both of them. This persisted until the year 2009. It became increasingly challenging for the writers of the show to incorporate her into the narrative at this point in time. As a result, Sara's status changed from that of a regular cast member to that of an occasional participant. At the same time that other characters, such as Amy Farrah Fowler and Bernadette Rostenkowski, were gaining more attention, her character, Leslie Winkle, was gradually eliminated. This turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it made it possible for her to concentrate on other projects, such as becoming the co-host and the brains behind The Talk, a cool talk show that made its debut on October 18, 2010. Because of her role as producer and creator of the show, she was able to win a Daytime Emmy Award in 2016 for Outstanding Entertainment Talk Show. This occurred as a direct result of her outstanding performance on the show. By the time she reached the end of her tenure as a co-host, Sara had already retired. Subsequently, she assumed the position of an executive producer for the revival of the Roseanne television series. The 8 episodes were acquired by ABC, and they began airing on March 27th, within the year 2018. The excitement that was generated by the show was very encouraging. Even the critics were impressed by the ratings, which were on the rise. For this reason, they were able to settle on the idea of producing a second season. On the other hand, the celebration came to an abrupt halt on May 29, 2018, when an individual caused a stir on social media by posting inappropriate comments about Valerie Jarrett, who had previously served as an advisor to former President Barack Obama. As a result of the drama, ABC decided to cancel the revival of the show after only one season had been produced. In spite of the fact that Sara made it abundantly clear that she and the show had nothing to do with the social media drama, the decision that had been made was not significantly impacted by the admission that she made. Since quite some time, this show had been on the verge of falling off the edge. There were reports that Roseanne herself had threatened to leave the show, despite the fact that such threats were reportedly made on the set almost every year. Furthermore, the executives even contemplated the possibility of completely discontinuing production in the event that Dan Connor was no longer going to be a part of the show. ABC, on the other hand, did not waste any time in turning the Roseanne scandal into a new opportunity after the show was canceled. On June 21, 2018, they made the announcement that they were going to move forward with a spin-off series that would be called The Connors. The familiar faces from Roseanne would be featured in this show, with the exception of a few characters who would be no longer present. Sara not only starred in the series when it debuted in October of 2018, but she also served as an executive producer for the show, so she was in charge of making decisions. In the year 2019, she formed a partnership with Tom Werner, an experienced producer, to establish Sara plus Tom, a formidable entity that was established by the combination of Werner Entertainment and Sara's television company. During the course of 30 years, this professional partnership continued. The successful partnership that they had with the Connors led to the formation of this collaboration arrangement. However, due to the launch, Sara was eventually forced to resign from her position as a co-host on The Talk after 9 seasons. When the 10th season of the CBS daytime talk show began airing in the fall, Marie Osmond made her replacement on the show. Additionally, Sara served as an executive producer for a new show that was called The Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. This show was in addition to The Connors. Both Sony Pictures Television and Amazon Studios were responsible for bringing this 8-part series to life. Each episode lasted for a half an hour and was produced by Google. The multi-talented celebrity maintained a busy schedule and explored a variety of creative avenues that went beyond the confines of the screen. Furthermore, Sara endeavored to find fulfillment in her personal relationships in addition to her professional endeavors. She began her romantic endeavors when she was a teenager, when she was with Galecki, her co-star from Roseanne, and then from The Big Bang Theory, where their characters were also in a relationship. Her romantic endeavors began during her teenage years. It was during this time that she came to the realization that she was a lesbian. In order to reveal her true identity to the general public, she had to go through a hard time. She admitted that despite the fact that she was in a relationship with someone who was 18 years older than her, she continued to pursue the relationship because she recalled saying, "When I was a teenager, I dated Johnny Galecki for a while. He served as both my lover and my spouse on Roseanne. Considering how cute he was, I couldn't help but fall head over heels in love with him. He started dating her. We would hug and kiss each other whenever he came to visit. On the other hand, after that, I would experience feelings of depression." She and Galecki continued to be close friends despite the fact that this information went public. Alder, a television producer, became Sara's boyfriend in the year 2001. Each of them is a parent to 2 children that they share. Sara gave birth to her daughter Sawyer Jane in the month of August in 2007. In addition, Alder's son, Levi Hank, was born in the month of October in 4104. Regrettably, she and Alder went their separate ways. In spite of the fact that the reason for the breakup is unknown, Sara was genuinely upset to witness the conclusion of her relationship. She had been thrown into profound existential contemplation as a result of the breakup. It was stated by her that she was beginning to question whether or not marriage is truly all that it is hyped up to be. "Although I have never been married, I have been in a committed relationship for a fairly long time. Because we are no longer together, it is difficult for me to deal with. If you see couples who are in their 70s, you can't help but wonder how they manage to keep their relationship going. How do they manage to keep it going? It is my hope that I will be able to do the same." For a considerable amount of time, Sara continued to avoid discussing her sex, which ultimately led to her leading a life of secrecy. The following month, in July of 2010, she made a significant move. Just prior to the launch of her talk show, The Talk, she had the courage to reveal that she was a lesbian. As a result of the shocking revelation, Sara stated that she continues to experience a great deal of fear whenever she discusses her in public or through the show. "I make an effort to appear self-assured or to make jokes about it, but there is always a part of me that wonders, what is this effect going to have on my professional life?" There has been a lot of difficulty involved in Sara's journey towards accepting her. Galecki, the actress's former boyfriend and co-star on Roseanne, was instrumental in assisting her in coming to terms with her identity. During the early stages of her career, the actress was not as forthcoming about who she truly was. Sara had concealed this aspect of her personality for a considerable amount of time, out of fear of the potential repercussions it could have on her theatrical career. However, the unwavering support and understanding that she received from her ex-boyfriend Galecki provided a secure environment in which she was able to investigate and ultimately accept her. Sara, who was experiencing a range of emotions, related that Johnny was extremely supportive of her throughout the process that she was going through. In a way that a straight male co-star might not have been required to be, "He was there for me when I truly needed him." She went on to say that, "It is not that I am not happy with who I am or thankful for the life that I have, because I am, in fact, both of those things." To give you an example, even when I got engaged, there was a part of me that thought, "Oh my goodness, now I have to tell everyone about it." An additional touching moment was shared by her, in which she mentioned that she had informed Galecki about the possibility of discussing this topic on The Talk. As a demonstration of his unwavering support and his sweet nature, he had offered to come on the show and hold her hand while she was performing the task. These two are obviously the most devoted supporters of one another, as evidenced by the fact that they frequently post adorable throwback photos on social media. Their connection is clear in any photograph they have taken together, whether it be an old promotional shot, a still from Roseanne's first run, or a more recent one. one. Through posts such as this one, Sara Gilbert possesses a genuine heart, which has, over the course of the years, most likely prevented me from going insane in this community of industry. Dear Soap, I adore you. The fact that these two are soulmates is obvious. In spite of the fact that Galecki and Sarah's teenage romance did not last very long, the fact that they have been friends for decades is something that deserves admiration. The best evidence of their friendship was provided by Sara in 2018 when she described their relationship, which included both on-screen and off-screen interactions. You can't even begin to describe the chemistry that exists between us. This is a very uncommon occurrence, and it only occurs with a select few individuals. It does not occur with other people. In addition, the fact that we have it is a tremendous blessing. In every sense of the word, he is a member of my family. It was after she had ended her relationship with her previous partner that she discovered love in Linda Perry. During one episode of The Talk, Sara revealed to her fellow panelists that her promising relationship with the woman who had previously been the frontwoman for the band, Four Non-Blondes, was discovered by photographers who had caught the couple out for a walk over the weekend. While I was out, the paparazzi were present, and all of a sudden, it was prevalent in the media that I had entered into a new romantic partnership. It was unexpected to see it everywhere before I had a chance to adjust, and it caught me off guard due to the fact that it seemed unusual. A magical wedding took place on March 30th, 2014, after Sara and Linda's engagement was announced in the spring of 2013. Sparks flew between them, and their wedding was a momentous occasion. Their love story reached new heights when, on a day that will live long in the memory, Gilbert celebrated the birth of their son, Rhodes Emilio Gilbert Perry, in February of 2015. It has been reported that Adler experienced a profound sense of betrayal regarding Sara's marriage to Linda, despite the fact that Sara and Adler initially portrayed their breakup as mutual. The fact that Sara had abandoned her long-term partner Adler in favor of Perry was a complete surprise to her ex-partner, according to the rumors that circulated. An anonymous source asserted that the dissolution of Sara and Adler's relationship is still a mystery. Regarding her personal life, Sara has, for a considerable amount of time, made it a point to keep a relatively low profile, despite the fact that she has a successful career and a public platform. In spite of the fact that her co-hosts on The Talk had their spouses mentioned in the press release that CBS issued for the show, Gilbert made the deliberate decision to leave out any reference to her own personal life. In an open and honest manner, she had explained the reasoning behind her decision. Due to the fact that this is a talk show, it is inevitable that I will talk about my life with greater frequency. However, I felt that the first place I wanted to do so was not in a press release issued by CBS. Because of the impersonal nature of a formal press release, it is possible that she did not feel comfortable opening up about her personal circumstances. In her statement, she mentioned that after leaving The Talk, she should put an emphasis on self-care. By doing so, she is highlighting her desire for increased privacy, which is difficult to achieve when one is a guest on a talk show that is relatively straightforward. As far as she is concerned, there is a sense of relief that comes from thinking things like, well, if I go through anything in my personal life, now I don't have to talk about it again. I am willing to let go of that aspect of it since I believe that my intention when I appeared on the show was to challenge myself in that way and advance both mentally and spiritually. However, I am willing to let go of that aspect of it. In her approach to sharing the specifics of her life, Sara demonstrates a profound respect for her own privacy and the boundaries she has set for herself. She put a limit on any private information as a reminder that individuals can and should maintain control over the narratives that surround their own personal experiences. This is particularly important in this day and age, when the lives of celebrities are frequently subjected to intense public scrutiny. Sara had been juggling a lot of professional commitments for a very long time, and it was beginning to take its toll on her physical health. This was in addition to the fact that she wanted to maintain her privacy. Her exercise routine had completely disintegrated after the birth of her third child, and she had allowed it to fail completely. Her physically and emotionally drained state was a direct result of the demanding schedule she had to adhere to. She was aware that something needed to adjust. She was so intent on regaining her health that she made a decision that was straightforward. Only 15 minutes of her time would be set aside each day for her to move her body. She explained that I wanted to reintroduce exercise into my routine so that I could regain the benefits that it used to provide for both my body and my mind. On occasion, she would even be able to squeeze in a yoga session that lasted for approximately 1 hour. In addition to bolstering her physical strength, these mindful movements helped to calm her mind, which had been overworked. She made it a point to stop putting her health on the back burner. she had rediscovered the profound impact that consistent self-care can have by making it a priority to spend only 15 minutes per day on it. She had been successful as a result of her tireless efforts and unyielding dedication. On the other hand, as time went on, Sara and Perry made the decision to go their separate ways, and after 5 years of being together, they officially filed for legal separation without Linda. It was on August 13, 2019 that she listed the date of their separation, and she stated that the reason for their breakup was due to differences that could not be reconciled. The once inseparable couple was forced to endure stormy weather, and by the 27th of December in 2019, they had legally separated from one another. During the Art of Elysium Gala that took place at the Hollywood Palladium in January of 2020, Linda discussed her relationship with Sara. She told me that you have to accept life for what it is and that things will happen. Right now, Sara and I are still in the middle of an amazing journey. She is my love, and I adore her. In spite of this, the couple's divorce was finalized on October 15, 2021, which was 2 years after they had separated. Joint legal custody of their son was granted to both celebrities, and they were required to co-parent their child together. Immediately, Sara dove headfirst into her work. Her highly successful television show, The Conners, made its return to the screen during this time period, which was fortunate for her. On the other hand, Sara did mention that she had been in therapy for a period of 3 months regarding her emotional state of mind. During my ketamine treatment, I was able to shed all of my emotions. There is no longer any trace of the tears or any other emotion that I experienced. It has all vanished. In her words, I want to live a life that is authentic. People do say things like, it gets better, quite frequently, and things do improve over time. However, I want people to be aware that it is acceptable for there to be a struggle with it, even though it may still exist. In a sense, it is similar to a process. Sara's willingness to be transparent about her process demonstrates the depth of her empathy and comprehension. She is aware that many people are going through a time-consuming and difficult journey, and despite the fact that the path has not been simple, things are getting better. Her acceptance of herself is a remarkable demonstration of bravery. The power of having loved ones who are there for you and who are willing to lend a helping hand during difficult times is something that cannot be overstated. The fact that Sara is willing to tell her story is truly an inspiration to a lot of people.